810 on your hometown station, KHTS. Make sure you go to hometownstation.com for all the latest and greatest Santa Clarita has to offer. And speaking of the greatest Santa Clarita has to offer, very special guest in studio, Victor Lindenheim joins us. And it's always good to have him in studio because he gives us updates about the transportation going on here in the Santa Clarita Valley.
I hope we talk about the 5 freeway.
The 5 freeway is a big project, not only in the Santa Clarita Valley, but in all of California. And Victor, I hope he sheds some light on it. But Victor joins us in studio now. Victor, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Good morning.
You want to talk? What do you want to get right into the 5, or did you have?
I'm ready.
You
sure.
ready?
Sure. And when you told people they couldn't, don't move from where they are, that's the usual thing, isn't it? Well, not this morning.
Not this morning. We have Friday Light, but usually, yes, we are. That and it can happen any time of the day. You know, middle of the day, whatever. Because we're dealing now in the Santa Clarita Valley on that 5 freeway. We're dealing with split lanes, and they can get very tricky. And sometimes you're not in the right lane to exit, and you try and move over, and it might cause a crash. It might cause a slowdown. So tell us what is happening, when we can maybe see some relief, Victor.
Yeah, relief is on the way. I have the pleasure of dealing with 2 very unhappy subjects related to the 5, but I have good news on both counts.
Please.
Yeah, one's traffic, and the other one's taxes. And they are related because the taxes pay for the improvements. So what's going on now, as I've mentioned in previous shows, would be pavement rehabilitation, basically replacement and repair of about 16 miles of pavement from below the I-514 interchange up to about 1.7 miles past Lake Hughes. That's a lot of pavement, and it will make your ride on the 5 a lot better. So that's happening now. That's
smoother.
Smoother, right. And we hope less blowouts and broken axles and God knows what. But following that, and that particular project will be completed summer 2019. Following that, design is underway right now for capacity enhancements, basically widening the 5, adding toll-free carpool lanes.
How can we do that? Where are we going to are we going to go into a mountain? What's happening?
If you recall, the first phase of this project was done just after the I-514 interchange was built, and what that was it was a connector lane. And the way that was done, if you noticed, and some of the footprint for the future work was done, there was widening. A lot of it was towards the center. You don't typically think of it that way. But the widening was actually, filling a space or going towards the middle of the road. So it's done however they can, and then they restripe it. So you deal with the real estate you have, you widen it on the inside, on the outside, however you can. And that's what's been done. But I want to get back to the point about taxes. That's very important. Taxes and where the money's coming from. We're about, when this pavement rehabilitation is done, what's going to happen is a major capacity enhancement. Carpool lanes, auxiliary lanes, truck lanes, extending the current truck lanes from the I-514 interchange northward.
So important. Trucks use that 5, all day, all night.
Absolutely. And slow things down quite a bit because of the severe grade. So what's going to happen is all that for a 14-mile stretch from the I-514 up to Castaic, carpool lanes, and within that there will be extensions of truck lanes, there will be auxiliary lanes, there will be sound walls. Big deal. Widening of bridges. That's going to cost about $540 million. Where is that going to come from? That's the good news. We get our tax money back. And the Gateway Coalition that I represent, we've been working on that for about 15 years. So it's not it's kind of we're going to be overnight stars, but it wasn't exactly overnight. And with a lot of help from our friends, elected officials, Metro, Caltrans, the Federal Highway Administration, it's been a long haul. A long road, you might say, but forgive the pun. In any event, so this $540 million, where is it going to come from? People just heard in the news about a $47 million grant that came from the federal government.
Yes.
And that was submitted by Caltrans and Metro jointly. I don't know if we're on camera now.
Yeah, we are.
That's what the It's the Interstate 5 Golden State Choke Point Relief Program.
Choke point.
Choke point. We're
Yeah.
going to relieve the choke point. And again, our partners include our elected officials, Congressman Knight, Supervisor Barger. I even got a support letter from Senator Wilk and Assemblyman Lackey. The city of Santa Clarita, and on and on and on. I'm sorry if I'm missing anybody, but it's quite a unique partnership. Anyway, so that got us to $47 million last week, announced by the federal government. Going back, another source, $247 million the prior month, awarded by the state, California Transportation Commission. Prior to that, if you recall, when Measure M was on the ballot, 2016, half-cent sales tax, the county committed $240 million. Do the math, you're almost at $540 million. We have a basically fully environmentally cleared, shovel-ready, ready-to-go project that's real. Okay. In addition, now there's a bit of controversy over the state source because it comes from gas taxes. People are, where do your gas taxes go?
Sure.
I hate taxes like everybody else. Nobody likes to pay taxes, but I like to get a return on my investment. And I'd say I hate unsafe roads and crumbling bridges even more.
Sure.
And the taxes, we're getting our money back, and that's guaranteed as a result of Prop 69, which just passed 80% yes, 20% no, which ensures that transportation dollars generated from the gas tax and other sources will go only to transportation by law. So we know where I think the key is, from my perspective, to know where the money's coming from and where it's going. And we have that, and we have a project ready to go and some relief on the way.
Look at you bringing us good news today.
Trying.
Good news all around. We might have a couple less pennies in our pocket because of the gas tax, but it's going to make us happy. When is some of this finally finished? Next year, next summer?
Well, next summer the pavement rehabilitation completes, and right after that, again, the design is being done right now for the next phase, the carpool lanes, and they've got to go out to get contractors. They'll put it out for bids, and we should be ready to go. Probably the last quarter or earlier, but by the last quarter of 2019.
Victor, one last question.
Sure.
Split lanes. We're dealing with that right now on both the south and northbound 5, near Calgrove-ish, Lyons-ish. Tell me about when we get rid of the split lanes. Or does it just continue up the 5 or down the 5, depending on where they're working?
The general answer is it's going to go up the 5. You can check the Caltrans website and keep informed there.
Oh, fantastic.
That's one way to do that.
Is that caltrans.gov?
Yes, exactly,
Okay.
Caltrans.gov. And there are links on their site to tell you what's going on, real-time traffic, a whole bit. So
fantastic.
A plug for them. There's no easy answer to that. It's going to keep moving around. I haven't seen the mitigation plan for how they're moving traffic around, but it's going to change. Be aware of it. It'll be done by next summer. There'll be people smiling. And then we start all over with expanding the 5, as I described.
So eventually, look, here's the deal. Be patient. What would be your greatest advice? Be patient. Good stuff is definitely coming, but we have to get through the bad and the rough split lanes to get to the good, and the good is definitely coming.
Be patient. That's all I can say. And there's sunlight on the horizon. And also, be careful what you wish for. There's a bit of an anti-tax movement, and I think you want to be careful about eliminating the source of the money for all this. In addition, when I mentioned the state and the gas tax, I don't know if people know, but the city of Santa Clarita stands to benefit directly from that. $64 million estimated, $64,421,000 to be precise, over 10 years from that gas tax. We're getting our money back, and it's being used in the right way.
Listen, you're bringing us good news. We just need to be patient.
Yes.
And you know what? No one's patient. We're not patient. I'm not patient. Victor, are you patient?
I'm not patient.
It's not something we're as a society, we're good at. We're not patient people, but we need to be patient because good stuff is coming. Victor, it's always a pleasure having you here.
Same here, Tori.
We'll talk again soon.
Thank you.